Item number 9, file number 191460, resolution directing the Commissioner of Neighborhood Services and the Director of Department of Administration to collaborate on implementing workshops and training sessions for educating local contractors on city deconstruction, contracting opportunities, and successful procurement strategies with the city. This file is sponsored by Alderwoman Coggs and Alderman Stanford.
Mr. Chair?
Alderwoman Coggs.
This is I believe it's, we did a footnote during the budget, and this is a resolution that helps solidify that footnote. Basically, when we first did the stay last year, one of the commitments of DNS was that they would help to educate potential groups that could do the deconstruction to better equip them to be in position to compete for these contracts. Because as we know, when we first began in recent times discussing the deconstruction, it was organizations like Northcott and others that came to the table saying that they were willing to compete for these contracts. But, to date, we haven't seen them successfully be able to do that. So it was a commitment made by DNS, and I think outside of a formal way, that there have been informal attempts to help people get aware of what they need to do to qualify, but this formalizes some formal workshops, some formal ways that not just the Northcotts of the world, but anyone interested can have an opportunity to become educated on the process and what's necessary to be able to compete. We do have one contractor now, Spencer, that has the contract for 50, but to do them at the level that we'll need them done over time, you need a lot more than one contractor. So just making sure that we're doing everything we can to help educate the public and those contractors who could compete on all the things necessary to be able to compete for these contracts. That's the intention behind this resolution.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Stanford.
Excellent, excellent. How do you envision this? Is this going to be every other month? Is it along with the small business presentations? How do you envision this training and workshop? And at the first one, please invite Alderwoman Coggs and I to give a introduction presentation on why and why we instituted this legislation and the future of how we want it to be. So how do you envision this, Tom?
Okay, Tom Mashesky, Department of Neighborhood Services, and thank you for having this resolution today. It's the follow-up on that footnote, as you had indicated, and I agree that this is needed to help work with contractors, nonprofits, other small businesses that may want to be included in future deconstruction activity. It is something that the actual work activity is something that is a good training opportunity and entry into construction. The difficult aspect of this work is more the business end of the operation, learning how to properly respond to city requests for proposals, setting up your business to operate appropriately, working through the various requirements for RPP and SBE, and also the insurance and bonding requirements that are necessary for demolition work in the city. So there's a number of challenges there that I think these kinds of trainings can discuss and talk about. I know we have done those in the past with Nikki to my right here with Office of Small Business. They routinely have training sessions in prior years or every year, and we have participated on the demolition side. Chris Krakow has presented at those meetings, and we certainly want to go forth this year and do more of that work and be more targeted in the deconstruction component of it. We have already met, Nikki and I sat down along with Chris Krakow to discuss some dates and times that it made sense with the schedule of training that they are already performing to work this into that. I know that from a department standpoint, in the past, we have done what we termed as informational meetings for demolition contractors and entities interested in demolition or deconstruction work. And we are planning one again this year for the end of February timeframe. And this will be more of a, not necessarily a training on how to contract with the city, but an opportunity to get interested parties together who either already do this work or want to do this work to talk about these general aspects of demolition and deconstruction. We'll be inviting some of the individuals that came last time. I know you'd mentioned Northcott, obviously Spencer Renovation, but there's a number of other contractors that had submitted bids to our previous deconstruction contract, but they, for whatever reason, didn't meet the requirements. Their bids couldn't be accepted. I'm thinking like Mindful Staffing, Recycling, an organization that has done work in the city. So there are others. We will invite them. There's also some individuals that we have worked with in the past. There is a gentleman named Dave Bennick who is out of the state of Washington who we have contracted with in the past. Alderman Bauman might recall back, I believe it was in 2010 or 11, where we entered a contract with that gentleman to bring his organization here and actually teach groups how to do deconstruction work. And he actually piloted a deconstruction of a house here in the city of Milwaukee, and groups like Northcott participated, and the Milwaukee Christian Center was there, MC, the Job Corps, they were there. A number of our contractors at the time, Cream City Wrecking, Waste Cap, of course, was part of that. So a number of entities came and participated, and we had a building that was removed or used the hybrid deconstruction model where they used the larger forklift travel carrier device to bring sections of the building to the ground. And Dave Bennick was very instrumental in providing that training. He also assisted a number of local residents in getting certified with regard to their OSHA training and lead worker training. So he'll be, we're going to reach out again to him and ask him to at least participate in that conference via phone. Obviously, he won't be traveling from out of
Real
state.
quick,
So,
are we short on lead abatement contractors as well?
well, we're not going to be doing lead abatement work. The contractors need to do lead safe work in that they have to do certain preparation work at the site to contain lead debris and
Not
dust.
just particularly this program, Tom, I'm just talking about in general. Are we short on lead abatement contractors?
I think that would be a good question for the health department, but I do understand a new contractor has just come on board recently that the Block Grants office has just announced.
Oh, sorry about that. I thought you
But
were-
no, that's a fair
All right, so
question.
that's good. Basically, how to be a deconstruction business and what it takes to be successful with the city. All right.
And then additionally, throughout the year, and Nikki can mention as well, with some of her regularly scheduled events, we will be partnering to have more additional training sessions to focus on deconstruction activity. And I might suggest, I know we've partnered with you, Alderwoman Coggs, on the Lunch and Learns, and maybe there's an opportunity next summer with the Lunch and Learn for you to think about.
And there's also Alderman Perez and Alderman Rainey
Yeah.
with that, too.
Alderman Bauman.
Yeah. For those watching on TV, if someone's in need of a true dimension 2x4, can they go buy it somewhere based on our current deconstruction activity?
Well, they certainly could contact Spencer Renovation because he's
So
accumulated.
they'd have to track him down
Yeah,
direct.
and I'm sure he's on the web, and you could get
So at
his
this point, there's
contact
no organized
information.
retail
No,
outlet
he
for the
doesn't.
sale of these products?
He doesn't have, he has a yard here in the city
Oh,
of
that's the ward
Milwaukee.
yard at 33rd
Yes,
and
that
Elite?
he's-
Okay.
That he's
So
storing
the
materials.
material is all stacked up in that ward yard?
I believe so. I haven't been out there recently. I was there before he started, so there wasn't a whole lot of material there at that time. But also, I understand he may be selling certain things right from the job site as they are
Right.
coming off the structure.
Okay, I mean, okay.
All
Mr. Chair,
Alderwoman Cox.
along those lines, does the city have like a reporting mechanism that exists so that we can begin to gauge that retail piece?
Yes, part of the contract and requirement for Spencer and all deconstruction contracts is to provide a summary report back to the city of where the materials went, because we want to confirm, A, that they are being reused or salvaged, and then we also want to know what, if anything, went to being dumped in the because obviously there's a limit to, they have to reuse or reclaim 85% of the material. So we track that.
Mr. Chair.
Alderman Stamper.
Yeah, Director Purvis, how many workshops do you have planned for the year?
Good morning, Chair Committee
morning.
members. Nikki Purvis, Director for the Office of Small Business Development. So we currently have 6 workshops scheduled. So the SBE seminars that we typically host on a quarterly basis, we invite all contracting departments to attend to share information, not only about the SBE certification process, but about those existing opportunities within the departments. And then in addition to that, we have our annual small business conference that we host at Manpower Group headquarters. So this year will be our 11th conference, and that'll be, we already have the date confirmed for that. I think it's May 6th. And last year we had over 200 individuals attend, and so that's a great opportunity for us to continuously share information. Now, there may be more sessions that we'll add, but considering, our capacity at this point with things relative to the DNC, we're still trying to make sure that we hit every angle and share as much information as we can, continuing our daily responsibilities.
That's a good point. Are you going to add any DNC
Yes.
opportunity to these workshops?
I talk about it everywhere I go.
Gotcha,
So whatever
okay.
opportunity I have to share anything about
available.
deconstruction or DNC, what have you, that's it's part of my daily work.
I know they said 400 contracts have been awarded. 80 of them are minority. Any of them from your office? Or recommendations? Anybody come from our office?
For the
small
DNC?
businesses? Yeah.
There were a few. I believe one of the first contracts, well, not necessarily a contract, but one of the first firms that they utilized was Best Ed for office supplies.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further comments, any further questions from committee members? All right, if there's no objections, I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor. Alderman Stamper will move for adoption. Are there any objections?
No objections, but when it comes time to market these workshops, please let us know so that we can assist in that.
Hearing no objections, so ordered. Thank you.